It's the attack of the ATM. The president saying don't blame his administration, blame innovation that brought us things like those ATMs for killing jobs. Is he right or is he wrong? Hi, everybody. I'm Cheryl Casoni. Welcome to Cashin' In. Our Cashin' In crew this week, we've got Jonathan Hoenig, Tracy Burns, and John Layfield. Also joining us this week, the CEO of Divine Capital Markets, Danny Hughes, and Democratic strategist Christopher Hahn. So welcome to all of you. And Jonathan, I'm going to start with you on this one. This is what the president said this week. There's some structural issues with our economy where a lot of businesses have learned to become much more efficient with a lot fewer workers. You see it when you go to a bank and you use an ATM. You don't go to a bank teller. So tell him, Jonathan, why he's wrong.
Well, of course, Cheryl, technology creates jobs. It creates productivity. And if this is the president's position, and frankly, it worries me. I mean, it's the same, Jeremy Rifkin, Ted Kaczynski Luddite argument that basically likens animals to, humans to barnyard animals, right? I mean, in a capitalist economy, jobs are destroyed and we invent new ones. We become more productive, more wealthy. Unfortunately, government intervention has made that process quite difficult these days, but the president is dead wrong. Technology benefits us all. It creates jobs and wealth in this country.
You know, Trace, all week we talked about it on Fox Business, all these big technology IPOs that have been hitting the markets. I mean, that creates capital, that creates jobs. The president doesn't seem to see that.
Well, I mean, look, because this is a president that doesn't understand business in general, and we've been seeing that day by day. Look, you're going to tell me Apple, Google, even IBM, they didn't create jobs and opportunities for people? If this is the way we're thinking, we really should all be back on horse and buggies because the auto industry slammed that industry altogether, Cheryl. It's a naive statement to make.
You know, Danny, there is a fair argument to be had that a lot of folks say Americans don't make anything anymore. And that may be true in the auto industry, fair game, but we are still innovating in the technology areas. And it seems that the president doesn't want to address that or at least give kudos to those companies in California that are creating jobs.
And in New York, don't forget. But, he's a really crummy example. Let's face it, ATMs were technology how many years ago? 20 years ago? 25 years ago? But it is true that technology does take away jobs. Look at the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. That's because technology has taken the place of humans. That doesn't mean that technology has not enhanced our lives, has enhanced the venture capital industry, has brought more jobs. It's just new jobs, different jobs. So I do think that most definitely we need more investment in technology to make that happen, but we are going to see efficiencies happen, and a lot of the efficiency has to do with getting away from human capital.
John, I mean, do you think that in the field of technology we are creating jobs or no?
I think we are. I think the president's motive behind this is correct. But look, you also have to realize that technology killed the entire outhouse cleaning industry. So he does have a point here. Companies are getting better. They're getting more efficient. They're getting more productive. They are laying off workers. They don't have to hire workers. Telling these companies as your jobs plan, hire people you don't need will never work. Manufacturing, we pay about $40 an hour. China pays $3. Africa pays $1. It's not coming back in the traditional sense that we had it before. Technology and pharma are the two ways we can increase jobs. We have no job creation on the horizon in this country unless we have something like an energy plan or some black swan technology that comes up. We don't have one in the future.
Christopher, let me give you this example. I loved my summers on the farm in Texas when I was a kid. Having said that, now farms are a lot more efficient with less workers. Fair enough. But at the same time, if we can be more productive as a nation, doesn't that grow the economy and help us at the end of the day?
Well, absolutely. But, the numbers speak for themselves. Corporations have never been more profitable in this country, and they're doing it with less workers. They're laying off people as their profits are going up because they don't need it because technology has replaced them. That said, as a nation, we could use technology to expand jobs in this country, but we have a problem here, a fundamental flaw in our system, and that is immigration. We are educating people from third world countries, and the day they get their PhD from MIT, we put them on a plane back to their home, and instead of setting them up with a condo in Silicon Valley where they could create the next generation of technology and build industries here.
Jonathan?
I got to say I disagree with Christopher. I think immigration, it's a side discussion, but as a net benefit, all the money, Chris, if you think that corporations are profitable now, think about how many people they could be hiring had all the money not been spent creating all those jobs. I mean, Cheryl, that's the argument of the left. that jobs need to be created. What we've learned now, the real argument, Chris, is that we now know that just paying somebody to dig a ditch and fill it in again doesn't get you anything. That's what this president's
Well,
has been.
Jonathan,
that's why there's been no job
Jonathan,
creation.
we can go back to that in a second, but let me tell you something. Corporations aren't hiring for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is that they can keep their money in the bank and make a profit on it without worrying about the taxes right now, because the tax code
Chris, that's
has
not
them
true.
paying so
Companies
little
need to
taxes.
grow.
They don't want to
wanna
make
grow.
a profit.
That's not true.
Exactly.
That's not true, Chris. No, Tracy,
No,
companies,
they are making profits. They're making record profits.
companies want to make profits. They want to grow. They want to make more widgets, gadgets, chips, whatever. That will add jobs eventually, but they need the signal that the economy is recovering.
Right. I mean, everybody wants to open another plant, open another store, expand retail businesses all over the place, but we can't because of all the rules and regulations coming down the pipe, the uncertainty, healthcare costs. No one knows where to go with this. That is why we can't create jobs right now. Technology is irrelevant here. Technology is moving us forward and making the world a better place and creating opportunity. We're all missing the boat
Tracy,
here. It's not technology, Chris.
Competitors,
it is
Tracy,
the rules and
Tracy,
regulation coming out of the Obama administration, sir, that is creating
Tracy,
inertia.
You know what, Tracy?
Tell me.
In China, where everybody's telling us they're kicking our butt, they have a lot of strict rules and regulations and universal
Oh my
health
God,
care.
are you kidding?
So manufacturers
Rules and
understand
regulations, their financial statements are a muddy blur.
They understand that there's a flat rate that they're paying for that instead of having monumental increases every year by private insurance carriers as we have here. It's a
Chris,
major
if you
problem.
believe the numbers
if you
that
poll
come out
most
of
CEOs in
China,
this
I
country,
have
they
a
want
bridge to
universal
sell you,
health care.
Chris. Let's pay attention.
Jonathan Hoenig, I mean, the point about China and Tracy's actually not wrong. That transparency isn't exactly one of their stronger suits. At the same time, are they advancing in the world of technology ahead of us? And do we need to look to the Chinese maybe for an example of how to create jobs around technology? They do manufacture a lot of chips.
No, Cheryl. I think the source of wealth is man's mind. That can't occur in a communist society. We need more independent thinking. We need less notion of government centralized control to create jobs. I mean, Chris, I think you're wrong. People want to make a profit. That's human instinct. Government gets in the way. So let's stop
They're making
downgrading
profits,
technology.
Jonathan. They just don't have an incentive to reinvest that profit because
but where is the incentive going to
going
come from? Where is the incentive going to come from?
Profit is the incentive. That's
know
the whole
what?
point. The profit is the incentive.
Return to the Clinton level of taxation in this country. You'll see more.
Exactly. Raise
investment by the
taxes.
private
You got to be
sector.
kidding me! Your only answer for creating
you think it was
jobs is,
so
hey, let's
bad,
raise
John, back
taxes.
when
Look, that was a
Clinton
complete.
was
Let me
president,
finish. I'll let you
innovating.
finish. The idea of raising taxes to create jobs is insane. That is a complete separate issue. If you want to do it, do it. But what the problem is, companies are not investing in long-lived assets, factories, manufacturing facilities,
John,
because there are no tax policies in place that are
line.
Let's not get into
The
tax
bottom line is-
discussion. I don't want to be depressed this morning. I really don't. I mean, it's nice outside.
hey,
So,
John-
Danny, let me give Danny last word here. Danny, last word.
Investment in real productive assets is what's going to drive this economy. It's what's going to build jobs. And we're just not doing it. We have no long-term plan because we're just involved in the politics of getting elected. There's just no long-term plan, and that's the problem.
There's
in
an
America.
election next year? Oh, my goodness. I did not know
An
that.
election
Oh, God. All
every
right.
year.
Surprise.
Coming
If I
up.
told you invest it or pay taxes on it, you're going to invest it.
More taxes. All right.